Is there an upcoming game that you're really excited about? Next level hype? Well, I want that game to fail. I want it to crash and burn. I want its developer to rue the day it ever considered making it. I want it to serve as a lesson to other games for what not to do, echoing through history like it's Game of Thrones Season 8. Okay, so maybe not exactly that, but there are reasons that people want your game to fail on the internet and your community with your friends that aren't necessarily just being, I mean, it's kind of selfish, but not necessarily just being malicious. And that's what we're going to talk about today in this episode of Tarkov Talks. Hello, welcome to Alternate Image Gaming. Again, this is Tarkov Talks, a show where we talk mostly about gaming while I play Tarkov in the background. And today, I want to talk about why sometimes people look for another game to fail, why they seem to hope for this new game to crash and burn, this new game to close, this new developer to struggle. And it isn't just being a jerk. There's more to it than that, and that's what we're going to get into. First, I'm going to give kind of an example for some context. Imagine you're really excited about a new MMORPG coming out. It's called World of Lost Scrolls 14 Online or something. And it looks amazing. It looks like it has the best graphics and combat, and it has player versus player and PvE and dungeons and raids and collections and just really all the stuff you could possibly want in that game. But there's something about it that just strikes you wrong. Now, we'll use an example that's a little bit more universally acceptable. This game is going to be the most aggressively monetized, pay-to-win monstrosity that anybody's ever heard of. But otherwise really great. So there's lots of things about the game you could love, but you know that this game is not for you because of how pay-to-win, how the monetization for this game is going to work. Now, you might think just a nice, mature thing to do is say, hey, this game isn't for me. Good luck to you guys, and I hope you have a fun game. And while that does seem great, there are some issues with that, and there are some reasons that people start to look at that negatively, even if they don't necessarily realize why. So say you have another game that you play, and you play World of Warcraft, to go with a MMORPG example. You play that game, or you're looking forward to the new Riot MMO that's coming out, and so you're hopeful for that. But this new World of Lost Scrolls 14 Online is doing really well, or at least it's hyped to do really well, or when it comes out in the alpha or the early access, it's just doing great. And you're like, if this game makes just a ton of money, if it just makes a crap load of cash, then will my game start to take that example? Will World of Warcraft go, ooh, we can monetize even more aggressively than we do? Will Riot's MMO come out and go, we were going to include this stuff for free, but we saw how they made 8 bajillion gazillion dollars, and it was totally fine, and the players did it, so why wouldn't we do that as well? Now, at that point in time, the game comes out, and people are like, ooh, you just feel like they're rooting for the game to crash. They're rooting for it to not be popular, not be well-liked, not be well-received, and most importantly, not make a bunch of money. Because if that game makes a bunch of money, the other developers are going to follow suit. Think of what's happened with mobile gaming and how its practices have invaded almost every other type of games. And even some of the games that came kind of a pre-mobile thing, like the FIFA games with their crazy loot boxes and their deep scaling microtransactions. And that's everywhere now. So, now obviously that's an easy one. We look at a game that has crazy microtransactions, say like Diablo Immortal and all the hate that came out for that game, especially with how well it's doing. Now that it's done so well, people are afraid, well, are they going to take Diablo 4 and make it like that? Of course, we made a video. We think they actually will. But now consider something that's less obvious than crazy pay to win. This will, of course, start being in areas that's a lot more personal, a lot more subjective than just over monetization. And for me, when I get this way, it really comes down to when I feel like a game that is coming out is cutting corners, when I feel like the quality is dropping, but the audience is accepting of it anyway. When we're lowering our standards for this new game because it's all that there is. When a game comes out and it's just it's missing something it's supposed to have. When COD drops its single player that really a lot of people do like, even if I don't, I'm just like, no, you have to include this stuff. You can't start getting lazy. You can't start leaving stuff out, because if that works and if players accept it, then other developers are going to start taking those same shortcuts. And so sometimes when somebody's looking at your game and you just feel like they're being negative, and maybe they don't even know why, it could be because they don't want to see these negative traits come down to the rest of the gaming industry, come down to their favorite game or their upcoming game. And that's, it's just something to understand, something to think about. So when you start getting into those kind of arguments, those discussions, just consider maybe there's more to it than that. Now, if you like this video, course, like, subscribe, comment. What do you think about it? Do you think there's a reason to be negative about a game? Do you think it's ever acceptable to look forward to something not doing well? Or is that just never an okay thing to do? Let us know in the comments, and hope you guys have a great day.